Okay, so currently recording the session. So here we go. So hi everyone, welcome to our session on the power of connection, fostering meaningful relationship in online communities. So we have like I think we have like extra 2 other sessions today. To take my few minutes. Yeah, hi Tulani, are you here?
Hi, Timothy. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, awesome. That makes sense. Okay, just want to confirm that you're around. So yeah. So basically our conversation today is centered around how to like build and create meaningful relationships when it comes to building online communities. Because again, it's easier when you meet people physically at events. It's easier to build relationship in person when you see people at events. But as community managers, it's kind of hard a bit to start creating that environment for people to create um meaningful relationship and maybe even as a mate in your various virtual platforms you are using to host the communities. It's kind of hard when it comes to creating an engagement and relationship in this platform. So basically, I think our talk today is centered around that conversation, and she'll be sharing various tips and strategies for us to be able to create those relationships in our various online communities we are building and managing. So without wasting much time, I think we should have done like 9 minutes already from the 30 minutes. Please welcome Tolani Olawari. I'm very sorry if I didn't pronounce his name correctly. She's community manager at Opportunity Decks and Valley Academy. Hi, Tolani.
Hi, Timothy. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining the session this evening. So let's just get into it because we do not have a lot of time. I'll be sharing my screen now so you can see the slides. Just give me a few seconds to do that. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we
Can you
can.
guys see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we'll be talking about the power of connection, fostering meaningful relationships in online communities. And I feel like this is a topic that affects, all of us on this call if you're a community manager, right? Even if you um, have like physical stuff that you do, I'm very, very sure that you definitely have like an online community on WhatsApp, on Telegram, or Discord or somewhere that is also within your domain to manage, right? So let's get into it. So first of all, a little bit about me. My name is Tolani. Like you already know, I work at the intersection of tech, community, and content. I've been a passionate explorer of the digital realm for years, navigating a lot of online communities and observing what makes the best one works. So I'm here to share my insights and experiences with you. So fun facts, my friends call me TLN and you can too. That being said, let's get into it. So what are online communities? I'm sure we all know this, but to fulfill all righteousness, an online community is a group of people who interact online around a shared interest, a challenge, or a goal, right? Now, the most important thing in that sentence is the shared interest and the shared goal, the shared challenge, because that's the whole idea of what makes a community, right? So people with a shared sense of belonging use these spaces to share knowledge, to learn, to build networks, or to simply discuss their interests. You have an online community about anything. You have an online community around your love for Korean movies, right? You have an online community around mental health. You have an online community around Web3 gaming, whatever it is, as long as it's something that a lot of people can identify with, and there's a shared interest in it. So, and personally, I think that the whole online community thing really, 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 really took off during COVID, right? COVID-19 and throughout the year of 2020 because people were locked in their houses. There was this lockdown. You could not go out. You could not interact with other people. And human beings, we are we are social creatures. We crave that connection. We crave that interaction with other people. So if we can't find it in person, we'll go and look for it online, right? And that's when we started seeing a lot of work around community building, community managers, and it just really like pushed us to the forefront. So in a way, thank God for COVID. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about fostering um, meaningful connections. And over the course of this talk, I'm going to give you some important strategies that you can use to make people really feel like they belong in your community, right? And so yes, they've joined your community, they've clicked your link, they've signed up on your platform, you have their emails, they're on your Slack or whatever, but you still have to make them feel like there are other people like them there, right? And it needs to be relatable in some way, some shape or form, right? That's the whole idea of a community. There has to be like a sense of belonging. They have to feel like, oh, I can relate with this guy can relate with me in some way. Okay, so let's just run through the benefits of online communities. We know the basics: access to information, knowledge sharing, learning opportunities, right? So Community Leads Africa is a community for community leads and community managers in Africa. And I'm sure we've like benefited from this in terms of the information that we get, the knowledge, learning opportunities like this one is because you're a part of this community, right? So you can also get like support and emotional well-being through shared experiences, because these are people that you have stuff in common with. So to a greater extent, they can relate more with your story, with your experience, with what you are going through, right? Then networking and collaboration. I know I've met a lot of really important people in my life, and people who have like made a difference in my life and in my work as a result of the communities I'm in and the communities I've joined. And this also like goes both ways, also for the companies too, looking at community from a business or a company perspective, right? Then brand awareness and brand advocacy. This is more for the companies. You have a community of people who are really, really into your product, and they automatically become like informal brand ambassadors for your brand, and they keep talking about your brand, they keep talking about your product, because they feel like, okay, they are a part of what you're building, and they feel like your service or product or community is really helping them in some way. Then community also gives you, the community manager or a community builder, gives you a platform to get market research, customer insights. You can just like drop a poll in your community and get like first-hand information of what your community members are thinking, what they are feeling. You can always have like your fingers on the pulse, like almost all the time, right? So now, how do we foster meaningful connections in a community? There are three things that we need to consider. First of all, like I already mentioned, one of the most important is shared interests. The people in your community must have something that is binding them together, right? There has to be an intersection point. So you can't just like go and bring random people from anywhere and put them in your community. That's why your offering, your value proposition must be crafted very well. You need to identify your target audience, right? And know how to reach out to those exact people that you need in your community. Okay, because if you want to build a community around gaming, you want to make sure that the people that are joining that community are people that are interested in gaming. Otherwise, they won't find value there. Okay, they won't be able to relate with other people in that community. And also shared interests must, it's very important. It's not just about the numbers. If you have like 5,000 people in your community and 4,000 of them are not really into what you're doing, they don't even know why they are there, right? Like we see it sometimes in our community management work, like you're on the group and someone just enters and like, sorry, what's happening here? What are we doing here? What's going on here? Right? So your aim should be to have like people who actually understand what the community is about and why they should be there. Then active listening and empathy. We're talking about online communities, right? And trying to get that personal human connection online, especially when maybe you're just like typing text and all, can be a little difficult. So you need to like actually practice active listening. You need to be like very empathetic. You need to pick up subtle cues and signals that your community members are giving to you, right? You need to be well versed in cultural references and cultural codes, so you don't say or do something that is offensive to a community member in some way. Then authenticity. Okay, now you need to be authentic about your value offering. If you say that this community is what our mission or our goal or what we want to do is to help business owners simplify their business operations and make the whole process easier for them, then stick to that value statement and be authentic to it. Okay, don't put the money before the people, right? Because human beings can always tell when they are being actively sold to. They can always tell when all you care about is to put your hands in their pockets. So we know that, okay, yes, your community management is part of a broader business or marketing plan and objective, but your work as the community manager is to make people feel like they belong, like they are heard, like they matter, like your company or business values them. So you need to be really authentic about that. Okay, so challenges of building online communities. Challenge number one: anonymity and trust issues. Okay, so the internet is a crazy place. It's a madhouse, and you really can't trust everything you see online. There are a lot of instances of people that build online communities, and it looks like, okay, they have good intentions, and at the end, they end up scamming their members. So people have heard horror stories or even experienced horror stories, so they may be skeptical about trusting you at first, right? And another challenge is a lack of non-verbal cues and possible misinterpretation that will be open to because of like the online space. Okay, now let's talk about how do you like surmount some of these challenges. How do you become a relationship ninja? How do you foster those strong and meaningful conversations and connections in your online community? You get, because it's community building can be like the real ghetto sometimes. You drop a post on maybe your group or your Slack or something and nobody replies, maybe just 2 emoji reactions and something, a post that you like took time to craft and edit and carefully arrange, and it's just like you're throwing it into the void. So how do we fix that? How do we foster meaningful connections in our online communities? Are you guys still with me? Just like you can just like drop an emoji in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Precious. Thank you, Esther. All right, let's continue. Okay, the first thing you should know, like we versus me. You can print it on a shirt and frame it, keep it on the table. We versus me, right? Community is all about we, it's all about us, it's all about it's this shared belonging, it's a collective. Now this me could be you as an individual if it's just you running the community, or it could be your business or the company or the brand you work for. So you need to understand that we is always greater than me, right? Like the needs of the general community should always be put into consideration. So it's not just about your brand and what you want to sell and what you want to push out, right? Or what you want people to be aware of. You need to also like consider, okay, what are my community members saying? What are their needs? What are their pain points? What can I do to make their lives better? Think of the we, like in a collective sense, right? And the next is give people attention. Give people attention. Attention is what people crave today. And I doubt if there's anyone who doesn't like to receive attention in some way or form or manner. Okay. So give people attention. Imagine, let me just like try to paint a little scenario. Imagine that somehow, right, you're a gamer and you like playing video games, and you're able to find a group of friends, a group of people that love gaming, and they invite you to a gaming session in their house. Okay, so you go to their house, like in your mind, oh God, I found my tribe, I found my people, these guys love this thing as much as I do. And you go to their house and they start playing and they keep playing and they keep playing. They're just playing these games from morning till night. They say you're a part of their squad, they say you're a part of their community, but they never pass the part to you, like not even once. They don't even they don't even give you the opportunity to test your skills or something. They never let you play. It's gonna feel weird, right? It's gonna feel awkward. Okay. So the same way it would feel weird for you to bring people into a community and make it all about you. You don't give them like a chance to talk, to express themselves, to ask questions, to make them feel like the spotlight is on them or you care about them in some sort of way. Okay, so one way that you can give people attention or make people feel like you're paying attention to them is to ask questions. Now, I found that the best questions that you can ask are the ones that maybe you even already know the answer, right? Ask questions even if you already know the answer. Okay. Now, what this does for you is that, see, if you treat your community like a notice board, like a notice board, all you do is just go there. Maybe it's the group is even locked safe. Maybe it's only admins that can even post. They can't say anything, they can't engage, they can't do nothing. You won't get a lot of engagement from the people. Basically, you're not going to foster any meaningful connections. They may just like react to an emoji or something like cool, okay, nice, seen. That's even if they even bother to react at all. But you need to learn how to ask engaging questions. And don't just ask questions, ask questions that you probably already know the answer. Okay, for example, why do you think this happened like this? Why do you think it turned out like this? How do you think they achieved this result? Do you understand? So you could share maybe a story or a post or a piece of content that could that appeals to your target audience or your community members, and then ask engaging questions like, okay, what do you guys think happened here? How did you think we're able to do this? How do you think we're able to do that? And you're going to see people like, kind of like rushing to answer, to share their opinions, because people like to share something, especially when they feel like they know the answer, right? Like, oh, I think this is what happened. I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened. And maybe even get to like pin the right answers or, pin some answers. Next time, other people will want to, answer more questions. And it just kind of like helps to keep the conversation going and that kind of thing. So 3, get your community involved in the creation process, right? So don't just make all the decisions autonomously. Okay, so let them be involved in your creation process. If you have maybe a community of writers, for example, and you want to create a writing course, ask them for their ideas, ask them what they think, involve them in the better process, create the course together with them, right? So they would feel like a greater sense of ownership. They will feel like, oh, they actually created this thing with you. And that will make them like more likely to talk about it. That will make them more likely to share it. That will make them more likely to push other people to engage with it, because they feel a sense of ownership. They feel a sense of pride about it, right? So let them feel like they are a part of your process. Or it could be something as simple as choosing a new logo. Like, hey guys, okay, we have this, want to change our logo. These are the options. What do you guys think? Let's do a poll. Vote for the logo that you think you like the best. Something as simple as that. Or suggesting speakers for an event, telling them to help you choose speakers. Not as if you don't know where to find speakers for your event, but just to let the community members feel like they are a part of your process, right? Like their voice is heard, like they matter, like you actually listen to them, right? So now there are companies like I read about this example. This company, this Lego, the toy company, they do something very, very interesting where they open up the creation process to their community members. So you can create a new toy or a new pattern or a new building, whatever, with the Lego bricks, and you post it in their community. If you get like 10,000 fans or 10,000 upvotes, Lego will create that your custom brick or whatever and release it as a limited edition release, right? And give you like codes and benefits, of course, and everything. And it's actually one of like their biggest community initiatives, okay, because the fans feel like, oh, they are involved. I can actually like create something in my house and Lego will adopt it and publicize it. So, that kind of thing. They feel like they are a part of what is being built. They are a part of the process. Then thirdly, or fourthly, offer them a factory tour, right? I'm sure we already know there's something or something like a behind the scenes or just a special experience, something that some of these tech companies do when they invite some of their users to take a tour of their headquarters to show them what goes on behind the scenes, to show them how they work, or that's the CEO's office, this is why we do this, that's why we do that. And the thing about this, right, is that when you do this, people feel like it's a special moment that not everybody gets to see. Not everybody gets to see what goes on behind the scenes, right? And in today's society, what do we do when we feel like we have an experience that other people cannot relate to? We share the hell out of it. Like, it seems like a privilege that, oh, I was able to see this, I was able to meet this person, and we had this conversation, they told me this, they told me that, right? It makes them feel special, and they definitely want to share it and share it and share it and share it. And there are different ways you can do this with your community. Just pull the curtain back a little and let them see some of the things behind the scene, right? Let them engage with, oh, this is how we do it, this is how we do this. Oh, that thing that we put out last year, let's take you through the process. Let's take you on a tour. It's kind of like makes them feel like, they are a real part of your community and a real part of what you're building. Then put a spotlight on your community members. This is like one of the best things you can do, really, because remember when we said that people love attention, yeah? And what this also does is it helps to show how your community or how your product or how your service has helped them or transform their lives. Like, I think Ingressive for Good does something like this, where they have like an alumni of the month feature, and they get their alumni to come and share their success stories. Or, where were you before you took this Ingressive course? How did the course help your life? Or do you have a tech job now? Or do you think it helped you? Share their success story. And what this does is your target audience, right, will most likely believe or listen better to that individual that they can relate to than you as the major corporation. They are more likely to trust when they hear it from other people like themselves, right? So put a spotlight on your community members. Okay, if you have a product you're building and you have people that have used your product, or you have a course or you have a service, just do an expose on them, like, oh, meet our member, so and so person, she used our products and this is what she has to say, right? It just shares like a positive experience, and it's kind of like one of the greatest endorsements that you can actually get, because it's actually from the people that are using your products. It's actually from your community members. It feels more organic in a way, and people are more likely to believe what you're saying in that context. Then organize offline meetups and events. Now, I know we're talking about how to foster engagement in online communities, but I know some communities have the option to meet both offline and online, right? And if you do that, if you do have that option, it is something you should really, really consider. As a community manager, it's your responsibility to create connection opportunities and moments that your people can just come together and find each other and connect, right? So if you can organize physical meetups and physical events, I would really, really advise that you do it, okay? Because now these people that they've been talking online, they can now meet in person, they can now connect better, they will even possibly make friends, right? Even possibly make friends. We should now make conversations on the group online way better, because now I can relate to this person, I can put a face to the name. So I always see Anne on the WhatsApp group, right? But now I know Anne in person. I have an idea of what she's like. I have an idea of her character. I have an idea of what she likes. Do you understand? So I have like better angles to communicate with her from. So the conversation is definitely going to flow better. Okay. So, and if physical events are not an option for you, you can always like hold online meetups, virtual meetups, community town hall meetings, right? Not like a meeting, maybe a Twitter space where you want to invite a guest to come and teach on a specific topic. No, just a meeting where people can just come and vibe and connect. Maybe put on their cameras first so that they will see each other's faces and do introductions. You can have like maybe mini breakout rooms, right, with 2 or 3 people in each breakout room so they can form like deeper connections. Because one thing I've learned is that individual connections, right, would definitely affect the larger group as a whole. Okay, so that's what this does. Let me there's this one of the most engaged communities, I mean, like online, right, where there's like so much conversation, is a hangout group that is kind of like just centered around physical meetups. So the idea is we have to meet in person regularly, and when we don't actually meet, and because that happens like maybe once in 2 months, but online the conversation is also like good, it's also there, it's also amazing because it's also there because yeah, lost my train of thoughts. Sorry. Because we know each other better, right? Like I know almost everybody on that group in person. I've met them at some point in time. I know what they do. Okay. And maybe I now have like deeper connections with like 10 people in that group. So I can relate to that 10 people better. I'm sure like you would notice this in your class groups, you know, maybe when you were a student, or if you are still a student, when you are in school and you have like a group for your department, like there's always conversations happening on that group. And it's not even class, it's not lecturers, it's not tests. Sometimes it's just jokes, it's just bands, it's just crews, right? Like you can just leave for a day and come back and miss 2,000 messages on the class group. Now, why that happens, right, is because all of you know each other. You know each other really well. You can relate with the other person better. Okay, it's not just like a name or a profile picture or a face behind the screen. Like you feel like you know this person better. You feel better joking with them. You feel more comfortable conversing with them, and that kind of thing. So if you can organize offline meetups and events, it would really help to boost engagement on your community, your online community. So in conclusion, because I think our time is almost up, in conclusion, I said, give people attention, right? Ask questions that they can give answers to. Don't just ask like yes or no questions that just end the conversation. Okay, ask questions that we kind of like make your community members think of a response, make them want to like show their expertise or show the knowledge that they have in some form of way. Okay, then get them involved in the creative process. Don't just be the alpha and the omega of your community that you do everything whenever you want, however you want. Like let them in on the creative process, like take suggestions from them, listen to what they are saying. Then factory tour, let them see, don't be so mysterious. From time to time, pull back the curtain. Okay, let them in on a couple of secrets of how you do things behind the scene. Can you still hear me? You guys, can you still hear me? Just drop an emoji. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Then put a spotlight on your community members. I think this one is really common and not that difficult to do. Just let them know that you appreciate them. Let them know that you see them, like you admire the work that they are doing. And you feel really good that your community or your product or your service has helped improve their life in some way. Then physical events. And yeah, so if you put all this like six, yeah, if you try a combination of all these like 6 tips and strategies in different ways, and you will definitely, I'm very sure of it, you definitely see like improved connections and improved relationship building in your community. This is something that I've tried, I still do, and it's like it works for me in the communities I'm on and the communities I build and manage. So thank you. I think we've come to the end of this session, but you can always stay in touch. You can find me on LinkedIn at Tolani Olawore, Instagram at the Tolani Olawore, and Twitter at Tola Olawore. The end. Thank you so much. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, CLA, for having me. It was really an amazing experience. Timothy, I think I'm done. So The floor is yours.
Okay, amazing session. I think I learned a lot. Fun fact, I've been using this for the community leads WhatsApp group. Since you guys, ladies, sorry for using the word guys, since everyone wants to be interacting with in the WhatsApp group, since I'll follow these steps and these amazing tips you shared and implement it on
No problem.
WhatsApp group. Well, amazing session. Definitely learned a lot. So again, I think we are like over time for the session. But if anyone have any question, I could just like spin up 5 minutes to answer any question anyone have. Have a question, a comment, an opinion we love to share. I think we could spend the next 5 minutes doing that before we call this session a wrap and like joining again by 8 p.m. Watts for our next session on leveraging leadership skills for to be a better community manager. Yeah. So any question you could just unmute your mic, drop it in the chat, or signify by raising a wave. So yeah. Okay. Any question? Oh, people are still joining the session. Well, okay, okay. Since there is no question, I think let's just like call this a wrap and just take the next 20 minutes as a break as we join for our next session by 8 p.m. Watts. That's like in the next 20 minutes. So again, thank you everyone for joining in on the session. Really appreciate you spending time with us. The session is being recorded. It'll be available in the coming weeks. And also, I think a slide, I wish out to her and also get a slide available. So we're pushing in the link to the recorded session in a few weeks' time and also the link to a slide. Bye and see you all in 20 minutes' time.
Bye.